Wiggins, your mental health coach. I help women and caregivers who are burned out but really want to return to work or work training. And today's topic is going to be loneliness. We're going to look at loneliness from a different perspective. But before we get into the topic, I just want to say happy belated Mother's Day for you who celebrate Mother's Day. I hope that you had a day where you could be at peace and joy. I know a lot of people who lost their mom, so Mother's Day is exactly not the same for them. So I'm also praying to you all that you get some comfort, you get some peace, you get some love from somewhere. And you're not walking around feeling broken or you feel like you're less than or there's something that you don't have. So I'm praying for that. I also want to thank everyone who came out to communities promoting reading. That's my non-for-profit organization. It supports low income student parents who are looking, like I said, either to return to school or to the workforce. It provides school supplies. This was our first Dress for Success event. So this event was more of people who were coming to donate. We had so many brand new suits with tags. One of the librarians at the library said she couldn't attend the event because she was at work, but she donated a bag full of brand new clothes that were amazing. So thanks to everyone who came out to support women who are going back to the workforce or are experiencing some form of burnout. And if you would like to make a donation, you can reach out to me on Instagram, Communities Promoting Reading. I believe the page is CPRNJ 2018. I'm going to put the information in the comment section. It's CPRNJ 2018, and you can just DM me and we can talk about either you want to make a donation or you need clothes. You're returning to the workforce. They're beautiful clothes and we have accessories. So without further ado, let's talk about loneliness. And before we get into loneliness, I want to give you my perspective so that you can understand why I think about loneliness the way I do. So number one, I am an only child, or I originally was, right? And my mom then had another child when I was 15 and 20. So pretty much I was an only child for 15 years. So I don't look at loneliness as necessarily something bad or something that's dreaded. I have spent a lot of time alone in my childhood, which I believe has prepared me for the things that I do now. Like I don't always have to be around people, or when I'm ready to go and I'm ready to be in my own space, I don't feel as if, oh gosh, if I leave, then I'm going to be by myself. I'm not afraid of being alone. So I don't think of loneliness as necessarily a bad thing from my perspective. However, there are several studies that shows that loneliness can actually lead to health consequences, right? And those are, high blood pressure, heart disease, depression, and anxiety, right? So when I found this out, I thought to myself, wow, people are physically getting sick from being alone, right? So there's always a medium to it. Like you need some time alone, but you also need some social time. But we know that when it skews to either side more, there's a problem where there's an imbalance, right? And it made me think about what happens when you are around people and you're lonely, when you're surrounded by other human beings, other creatures that you can socialize with, that you can exchange. Like, what happens when you're around people and you're still feeling lonely? You don't feel as if you have someone that you can connect with. I believe it's actually worse, and I could be wrong, and I need you to comment below and tell me and give me some feedback. It's actually worse to be around people and feel alone than it is to be by yourself and have that feeling. So that's what I mean today when I talked about loneliness. Not in the sense where you're isolated and you're somewhere off and you're by yourself, but when you're actually around people and you feel lonely. What does that mean? Help me understand. Like you're there, right? And it's like these people, they can't get you, right? Like, even though they're around you, they just don't get your dreams, your ambition, right? And it's like, okay, I'm around these people, but they don't even know me. It kind of reminds me of, one of the scriptures where I believe Jesus is asking his disciples, who do men say I am? And I believe it was Peter. He was the only one who said, you are the Son of God. But imagine the other 11. They're around him every day. And he's asking, who do people say I am? Who am I? And they're like, oh, we don't know. So it's the same thing with us. We're surrounded by so many people who either they knew us from maybe when we were children or so long ago that they still see us as a certain way. And it's like, no, I've changed. So for example, at the event this weekend, I reconnected with my nephew. I haven't seen him in 25 years, not biological nephew, of course, but I look up to his mom as a big sister, and she helped me with this event, with the donations. It just that's a whole nother video. But the point is, I was calling him by a name I knew him from 25 years ago. And we were working together, like, taking in the donations, setting tables up, just doing things. And I'm calling out to him. And then one time he walked over to me and he was like, hey, auntie, I don't go by that anymore. This is my name now. This is what they call me. And I could have been like, no, I know you since you was a baby. This is your name. But I had to respect, he's a grown man. And if he's telling me I no longer want to be called this and now I'm going to be called that, I had to understand that who he was yesterday or who I saw him as, that's over. This is who he is now, and I need to respect that. And I believe that that's where a lot of the people that you're surrounding yourself with, they're still looking at you as that old person. They're still calling you that old name. And you don't go by that name anymore. You're not that person. So even when you're around them, you still feel lonely. So my question to you is, because we know that loneliness leads to high blood pressure and anxiety and depression, this is what studies are showing. Why is it that we're continuing to be around people who make us feel lonely? Why are we doing that to ourselves? Are we afraid to actually sit in silence and be in our own thoughts? I remember I had a client that said someone told her, get out of your head because it's a dangerous place. And this specific client did not, she suffered a type of psychological abuse. She grew up with a sister who had some mental health issues. So she in turn got the kind of back end of that, meaning like the parents' attention was focused on the sister and not her. So in turn, she was neglected by parents who were right there. And it's the same thing like you're around people, but they're neglecting you because they can't see you for whatever reason, right? And the thing that I saw with her was she didn't like to be alone. Whenever she was alone, she would call somebody just to talk or go hang out, even though something happened bad the last time or she had a bad experience, because she just needed to be social, even though it was almost to her detriment. So this is my question to you. What is you what's the cost that you're paying from running from yourself? What's the cost that you're paying when you can't sit in silence and think? And when the thoughts come, you're not so afraid of these thoughts that you think are your thoughts, but maybe things that have developed over time, right? What is it costing you to keep calling that person, to keep going back to that person or these people? And then it's this bad experience, right? You feeling lonely when you're really alone by yourself, but then you're also feeling lonely when you're around people. So if this is something that you are experiencing and you're a mom and a caregiver and you're either in work already trying to get back to work, and you just need to get over this mental and emotional blockage. You feel like there's something there that's keeping you from becoming who you really say you want to be and who you are feeling that you are. I actually host a group every Saturday morning. This is no charge at 11 a.m., where moms and caregivers come on and they just share their experience. This is a judgment free zone. This is a safe place. I don't tolerate nonsense. So if you are not in a good space with yourself and you're not good and you feel like you could possibly be contentious, don't come on. Right? Go somewhere else, because that's not the place for this. This is the place for where, for example, this past weekend, I actually had two different clients back to back, like one on Thursday and one on Friday, say to me, oh, I was molested. And the conversation came kind of out of left. And these were men, they weren't women. So that's something else we'll talk about in the future. But oh, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that word, but you get it. I apologize. But that's the type of environment that my team and I create. We could create an environment where you feel comfortable enough to share something that you probably never shared with anyone else, and you won't be criticized, ridiculed, humiliated. We will actually walk you through this process to determine what is it that is going on with you that's preventing you from being the person that you said that you desire to be. So yeah, so this is Elise Wiggins. If you feel like this is something that's for you, click on the link below. Like I said, you can register and we meet every Saturday at 11 a.m. I don't know when the next event will be, but I'm looking forward to possibly doing something for Father's Day. I did get one mail donation, so I'm grateful for that, right? So that means that the idea itself is expanding. And yeah, I just have to say to you, you know, going back to the topic, loneliness. You're around people, but you're still lonely. So tell, if that's you, comment below and tell me what that's like. And then, give me your feedback and we'll do a part two. But I'll see you again on Wednesdays. I want you to know I'm keeping my commitment to myself, not just to you. But I said I wanted to be consistent with going live and engaging and coming on and participating, because I know how important what I have, what I know, and my experiences, how they may help other people. It may cut the learning curve for you. So I don't just get on here because, it's like, oh, I want to talk and I want to hear myself. No, I actually have the desire to heal people. So until next time, take care. God bless. I love you. And as always, don't wait for a leader, become one.